Hi, my name's Snaid, and in this video we'll discuss the issue of marrying a United States citizen. Now there are two situations we can look at. The one is where you get your green card inside the United States and all the processing happens inside the United States. And the other is where you get your green card outside the United States and all the processing takes place outside. This would occur where the foreign spouse is here in the United States as a student or on an H-1B as a professional worker or as an investor, and the parties decide when they're in the United States to get married and apply for a green card. In that case, it is possible to do so here inside the country. There's another situation. Let's say the parties have been dating and going from each other's country and visiting each other, and on one occasion the foreign boyfriend or girlfriend comes to the United States, and after a couple of months or so they decide to get married and they apply for a green card inside the United States. Now this is possible because the person who's now the foreign spouse didn't come to the United States with the intention of getting married. That person came here with the intention of being a tourist and leaving the country. You cannot come to the United States as a tourist with the intention of getting married. If you intend getting married and staying in the United States, you must apply for a fiancé visa and then come into the United States and do the processing here. Getting a green card inside the United States is a shorter process. It takes about 6 to 8 months at the present time. What happens is the US citizen petitions for permanent residence. In the petition, he or she shows that they are a US citizen, either through a US passport or a US birth certificate or a naturalization certificate, and they show, of course, that they are married. So what happens here is the US citizen petitions for their spouse inside the country, and after that is approved, it then goes to the foreign consulate, and at the foreign consulate there's an interview, and they decide whether or not to grant permanent residence. The process is more complicated than that, and it takes longer. The foreign spouse must show that there's nothing in his or her background that would stop them from getting a green card. For example, they haven't committed any serious crimes, they're not drug traffickers, they're not communists, Nazis, and there are a host of other issues that could stop the person from getting a green card. So you have the petition where the US citizen says, look, my wife or husband is eligible to get a green card, and the adjustment of status, which is filed at the same time, where the foreign spouse says, I'm entitled to the green card because I haven't committed any serious crimes, etc. At the same time as filing these two applications, the foreign spouse files for work authorization, in effect saying, look here, Immigration Service, I'm applying for permanent residence. I know it's going to take 6 to 8 months for you to call me in for the interview, but I need to work now. I need to make a living. Well, although the application is done at the same time as the other two applications, it takes about 3 to 4 months before you'll get that permission. At the same time, the foreign spouse can also apply for something called advance parole, in which he or she says to the immigration, look here, Immigration Service, I had no idea that I was going to be getting married and living here permanently. I need to go back home to take care of my finances, and I'd like the right to return. So the whole process of getting an adjustment of status to permanent residence inside the United States is taking, as I said, between 6 to 8 months. It starts with the filing of the petition. The person is then fingerprinted. The people are later called in for an interview at which the Immigration Service want proof to show that these people are in a genuine relationship. One of the biggest issues as far as the Immigration Service is concerned in such applications is whether the application is a genuine application, where there's a genuine marriage, where people are in love with each other, and that it's not an application merely for the purpose of getting a green card. So the genuineness is important. And what has happened is the Immigration Service, if they approve an application where the parties have not been married for 2 years, they will only grant a 2-year green card. And the idea behind that is that at the 2-year mark, the party must file additional documents, like showing they're signing joint tax returns, that they have multiple car discount insurance on their car insurance, that they have rent agreements, photographs showing their relationship together, joint banking accounts, and other proof that this is a real relationship. Of course, if there are children, that is very strong evidence of a genuine relationship. So genuineness is very important. It is possible for someone who's come to the United States legally and who's overstayed their authorization to get married to a United States citizen and adjust their status within the United States. That is one of the few exceptions where someone is out of status where they can get a green card inside the country. If someone has come to the country without authorization and they then marry a US citizen inside the country, it is possible for them to petition inside the country, but they must go outside for the green card. However, the moment they leave the country, if they've been here without authorization for a year or more, they are not allowed to return to the country for more than 10 years. So it's a catch-22 situation. They may have their petition approved here, but the second they go to the consulate for their green card, they are barred from returning for 10 years. Well, there's a waiver that is possible, and now the Immigration Service allow people to file that waiver while they're inside the country to see whether the Immigration Service will forgive that overstay of more than 1 year and allow the person to come into the United States without being outside for that 10-year period. The waiver is a difficult waiver in that you must show exceptional, extraordinary circumstances that it would be extremely difficult for a person to stay outside the country with their spouse for 10 years before they be allowed to come in. So that is one waiver that is allowed in this kind of situation.